In this video, I would like to focus on the state of the line and the states of the machines. How we can create rules to select an appropriate state depending on the values of the signals. Let's first go to signals and see our state signal. I can see here that it's changing to a value from value 0 to 1 and sometimes to value 2. So now I can jump to settings and try to create a rule which will, depending on the value of the state, will select the different state for the filler. As you can see right now, the filler is constantly in a failure state. If I jump to work spectrum, I will see that both my line and both of the machines are constantly in failure. This is the default failure, the default state that if there are no rules, each line or machine goes into. So let's jump to settings, problems. And for our filler here, we can see a list of possible downtimes that can happen on them. Let's jump to roles and create a new role. And let's say we want the filler to be in a work state if, and I will use the simple conditions here, if our state value is equal to 0. Let's save that. And from now on, when the value of the state signal changes, filler will evaluate all of the rules here, and depending on the value of the state, select, for example, work here. If the value of the state is not 0, it will, like right now, jump to the default failure mode. We have the work state, but let's say I want to create some very specific downtime. Let's say our filler will report a state filler head stuck and name it as a failure. From this perspective, we can jump to rules and create a new rule for that problem. Again, just a simple condition, and say that if the state is equal to 1, will recognize that the filler is in this state. Let's jump to monitoring. And as you can see right now, the filler is in a work state. Let's click current to see that indeed the state is now 0. So the system now follows the rules that we created, and depending on the value of this parameter, selects an appropriate state for the filler. If we wait a while and the state changes, the rules that we created will be re-evaluated and a different state selected. So I let it run for a while, and now we can go to work spectrum. We already see that there is some more interesting history here. If I zoom in, I can see that the work that we observed started here, but then finished here with the filler head stuck state. Then work again started, and a default failure was selected, but then the filler head stuck, and so on. As you can also clearly see right now, the line also follows the base availability machine in terms of the state. The states are exactly the same for both the filler and the line. We can also inspect that in a different way. We can go to signals, pull the work states here, and the state signal as well. We can now zoom in to this section, and you can investigate the relation between the signal value and the state of the filler. Zooming in will help us understand why the following state was selected.